Welcome back to Snetterton for the final round of Mini Challenge 2011, and we have two new champions. Club class champion Ant Wharton-Eales, congratulations. Tell me your highlights of the season. There were so many.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. Hard to pick one really. I suppose it's just got to be winning 16 of the rounds so far. There's still one to play for this afternoon, so it might be 17.
After the bad luck of the first two rounds, it was probably the turning point in my championship when I did pole and did the treble at the Browns GP in the wet.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredible, and you were just so far ahead of everyone else in the wet. And where does that come from, your experience in Scotland?
Yep, that's it. Knockhill was wet most of the time, so and all my years karting as well was all in Scotland. Just another thanks to Mini Spares UK for the car, Accelerate Motorsport for the setup, and my mum and dad and my sister and everyone that's supported me throughout this year.
And what do you think is so special about Mini Challenge? It is just such a competitive championship. It really has kept us all on our toes throughout the season.
Yeah, well, as proved on after qualifying, all the data was all overlaid, and it proved that every car was absolutely identical. So it just comes down to the team's personal setup and driver.
I found you in the bar, which isn't surprising at all after that. What happened?
Yeah, unfortunately it's game over for us today. Not quite sure what happened. We got out from 10th to 3rd in the race, went down into Anglestenial, the corner over the back, and just got smashed in the back from one of the cars. I think it was Jason, and it's game over. Yeah, we all know we've got to settle for 3rd now. It has been a fantastic year. The team have put together a great car. It's been a great season, but unfortunately it's all gone wrong this weekend. But onwards and upwards to next year. I'm going to go down to the hospital tomorrow for some x-rays, but a massive thank you to all the medical team at Snetterton today. They did a fantastic job. Great guys, and yeah, thank you to everyone.
So we may have our mini champions, but 2nd and 3rd places are still up for grabs in the championship, and there's one very exciting race to come.
I know it's close now between myself and 3rd place, so yeah, last race to play for, charge from the back I think.
I've got really nothing to prove now. I've done far better than I ever thought I was going to do, and I'm really pleased with 3rd place, but I will be trying.
So it's a reverse grid and a rolling start for the final race of the Mini Challenge 2011 season. Dean Raymond and Patrick Mortimer will be battling out for 2nd and 3rd in the championship overall for club class, and Sam Osborne is on pole.
Champions crowned, grid reversed, rolling start, all bets are off for this, the final race of the year. It really does promise to be quite something, and this is how they line up with Sam Osborne on pole position. Alongside him on the front row of the grid, Chris Smith, Stuart Lyons, hard charger in 3rd, and Finley Crocker up in 4th with Chris Knox and Lee Allen, leading Joe from earlier on. Looking out the 3rd row, pace car pulls in. It's the responsibility of Sam Osborne to lead the field up to the start line when those red lights flash out, which they do. Now we go racing for the final time in 2011. Look at that start from Stuart Lyons, looking to the inside of Sam Osborne, who gets squeezed down the pits movement by Lyons and Smith, and somehow Osborne's going to emerge in the lead on the exit of Riches. I don't know how he managed to do that. We're in car with Lee Allen, who watches them all fan out ahead of us. So it is Osborne from Lyons, Smith around the outside, Chris Knox to the inside. Everybody concertines up. Finley Crocker's appeared from nowhere around the outside of Montreal as well. We're squeezing 5 minis into really a track space for 4 minis. Sam Osborne helps Stuart Lyons aside, and Lyons then fights back and retaliates and squeezes Finley Crocker to the grass on the other side of the track. Also Chris Knox very much in the mix as well. Somehow they're in some sort of order, and it is Osborne who leads from Smith, then Knox, then Lyons, and then Finley Crocker, who looks to the outside but not as far to the outside as the Anu surges around everybody and almost loses it. And that was quite something there from the Allen. Bold stuff as Andre Maggi bounces across the grass at the rear of the field. We go back to the leading group of cars, and it is Sam Osborne who's just got the advantage over Chris Smith, and then Chris Knox. These 3 cars just begin to break away now from Stuart Lyons in the rest of them. Here is the club class with Patrick Mortimer and Dean Raymond running together on the track. They are fighting out for 2nd in the club class as we surge down into Brundle and Nelson. And Osborne bouncing across the curbs. He would dearly love to win the final race of the season, as would Chris Smith, who's been there or thereabouts all year, but really not quite strung those weekends together, put him into the championship hunt. And he's here in 2nd at the moment, looking to challenge to end his season on a high, although he's got the new champion, Chris Knox, homing in onto his tail. So the leading trio turn through Murray's and accelerate onto the centre straight to complete another lap. Go back in the club class between Michelle Nixon and Daniel Bishop, and then just ahead of us you can see Patrick Mortimer trying to put some daylight between himself and the rest of the field. Looking to the inside of Osborne and challenging for the lead is Chris Smith. He looks to the inside of Riches, and Osborne closing the door. He gives Smith just enough racing room. They all bounce through, and Chris Smith still to the inside. Looking into Montreal, he's going to squeeze Osborne out wide, and Chris Smith goes through with the block pass. Chris Knox also moving up into second position, and now looks to challenge the lead around the outside as they accelerate on towards Palmer. Again, we almost fan out to 3 abreast into Palmer. It's Smith, though, who's got it from Osborne and then Chris Knox. It's a great move there from Chris Smith. He found the space on the inside of the hairpin and just blocked out Sam Osborne into the pit lane and out of the race, I fear, is Lee Allen. What a shame that is. Disappointing end to Lee's season. See clambers out of the cockpit, back to the fight at the head of the field, and Chris Smith is now on the rear guard action from Knox and Osborne. The 3 cars as close as you like. Finley Crocker in 4th. He's probably got the best view of anybody of this, and then we've got Lee Sullivan, Shane Stoney and Kevin O'Connor having a good tussle as well. Patrick Mortimer with Michelle Nixon, Daniel Bishop also having a battle as Nixon looks to the inside of Mortimer. They make contact. Mortimer goes sideways. The car snaps around, but he holds onto it and stays in touch with that battle. Everything is happening in this race, although Chris Smith still leads it. He's just about managing to keep the green and black car of Sam Osborne behind him. As Nixon and Bishop fan out down the centre straight, still Michelle Nixon having that slight advantage over Daniel Bishop. Then we've got the gap back to Patrick Mortimer as Bishop looks to the inside. Nixon into the bomb hole, and here he goes. He gains the place, moves up into second in the club class. Daniel Bishop, Michelle Nixon demoted into 3rd. Sam Walton-Eels, who still leads club class overall. Race overall is now Chris Knox in 2nd, chasing down Chris Smith. He's made the move on Sam Osborne. It's again the 3 of them fan out into Montreal. This is a fantastic advert for Mini Challenge Racing, isn't it? These 3 cars as close as you like, but no contact. It's very close further down for 4th position, and that's Shane Stoney possibly, who was surging up the inside. There it was Reese Lloyd. It's Stoney now, and the red car is looking to the inside. We're in car with Reese Lloyd, and it finally goes wrong. He has an escapade across the grass, and his recovery has put him into the tail of Shane Stoney. Close in, now back into real time with Reese Lloyd on the tail of the red car of Shane Stoney, who's here this weekend, remember, just to have some fun. Well, at the moment he's doing very well for just a bit of fun. He's up into 5th position as Reese Lloyd goes off again, and this is turning into a bit of a disaster for Reese Lloyd. It's all arms and elbows. The Welshman rejoins through the concrete foam. Chris Smith still leads the race from Chris Knox, only just across the curbs. Some body trim coming off. It's one of those races, isn't it? Bits of minis scattered all over the Snetterton circuit. Chris Smith, despite that, hasn't really put a wheel wrong elsewhere in the race, as Andrew Bailey has a good scrap just ahead of David Ogden. The eyes on that mini staring wide open at the rear of Andrew Bailey's car as he looks to try and pick his way through and past him. As we've got another car bouncing across the grass, that's number 12 car, Justina Williams. So the leaders into club class, lapping them, and there's contact, and Knox spins Patrick Mortimer, and so Mortimer gets spun from club class podium contention. You could find that, say that was a final round knocks out, couldn't you? All of which gives Chris Smith the lead of the race. We see the replay. And that's the problem when you've got 3 JCW class cars as close as they were coming onto the tail of the club class battle, who are also fighting amongst themselves. As a result of that sort out, it's still Smith from Osborne and Knox in 3rd. It's rather split out this battle at the very head of the field. Heading towards the closing stage of the race, Andrew Bailey just ahead of Dave Ogden as the flag goes out, and the win for Chris Smith. So Chris Smith does take the win from Sam Osborne. See how the rest of them finish, because that was frantic stuff all the way to the flag. It was Smith from Osborne, then Chris Knox in 3rd, Finley Crockett in 4th, Shane Stoney in 5th, and Lee Sullivan rounding out the top 6. In terms of the classes, well, it was Chris Smith in the JCW class from Sam Osborne and Chris Knox. Club class honours once more going the way of Ant Walton-Eels from Michelle Nixon and Daniel Bishop after a very hard-fought battle. Chris Smith will be delighted with ending his season on a high with a win.
And what a way to finish the 2011 season.
Yeah, it was really nice to finish on a high. It was a tough race with Noxie behind me the whole way. Lucky enough, I think he came together with one of the club cars at the end, which gave me a bit of the breather for the last lap or two, which was needed. But no, it was a really enjoyable race.
Congratulations, 2nd in that race. It was fairly hairy.
Yeah, a bit sad sometimes. Good race though.
yeah, a bit stoked for words.
It was a fantastic race. At the start, we just let Sam and Chris just dice it together, and I just sat and been patient, and then made a move on Sam, and I had the legs of Smithy, but he did enough in the right places just to keep me behind.
What a year it's been of Mini Challenge racing as the drivers celebrate on the podium for the final race of the season. Suspect the champagne is going to be sprayed with some vigour here. Huge cheers, here we go, the champagne fight starts in earnest. Now Walsh Neal's getting a deserved soaking for the season. He's had Chris Smith ending his year on a high as the drivers celebrate on the podium what has been an excellent year's racing.
So that ends the Mini Challenge season 2011, which has been full of drama and excitement, and that promises to continue next year as lots of people are returning. Join us in 2012.